Let's get it. Midnight Smoke, episode 5. Jumping in this hoe. What was that you had to tell me yesterday?
I forgot. Yesterday was crazy, man.
I can't even tell you the story about it. I remember you telling me something. You was like, I can't
Does it
tell you.
work?
I don't think it was work. It was right when we was about to leave. And you were telling the story. Then I was like, nah, don't tell the story. Tell it for the podcast.
Bro, I forgot.
Oh, dang. Fuck it. Hopefully it'll come back. But nah, I seen this one thing. And how do you feel about a lot of females? If a dude, like this one female, she was like, she seen her dude cry and she lost all feelings for him. She couldn't look at it. She couldn't look at him the same.
I don't know. That's
Crazy, bro.
It's crazy because, like, that's the whole thing. Like, females want a dude that can open up. But as soon as a dude, like, let down that wall, like,
Females, man. They be,
I don't know.
yeah, like they say they want a dude that care more and stuff like that. But as soon as they get a dude that act like he cares, like soft in any type of way,
Right.
they ready to be like, oh no, I can't do this. I don't want to be no soft nigga.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's no type of, like, balance in between. Like, I don't know why females got this thing nowadays. Like, they want this just dude that's, I don't know. Like, they think we're supposed to change with how they think.
I can't even tell you, man. They be wanting so much but don't return. Like Sweetie, she was like, they asked her, it's like Quavo spoiled her when they were going out, and she was like, "Do you spoil him?" No, the interview said, "Do you spoil him?" And she was like, "That's gay. Why would he want to be spoiled? A nigga can't want to get
Right.
shit."
Like I said, it's a two-way street. Females always want to holler like, they want to be equally seen to a guy, but when it comes down to it, they really don't want to be equal. They try to make it
Exactly.
equal when they want it to be.
You can't want equality, and then when
But you
people
get
treat
it.
you the same,
Right.
you tripping and stuff like that. Or like, you can't say you want equality and they get mad because the nigga don't want to change the tire for you.
Exactly. Like, if you want to be equal, we're gonna be equal. Like, don't. And that's what I hate, because a lot of people try to make it beneficial to when
Try to get closer to your mic.
my bad.
Like,
A lot of people try to make it, like, beneficial to when they need it to be beneficial. Like, I don't know. I just hate that, because where does it come? Like, I feel like it's always a sacrifice for them. It's never a sacrifice for us.
yeah, they'd be like, you supposed to do it. Or like, even going on dates, most of the time people like females look for the dude to pay it first.
Right.
And like, that's how I am. I'll pay.
Yeah, me
But
too.
you can't want equality and then be tripping. Like, if y'all go on a date and a dude don't pay, a female will cut him off. She'll be like, oh no, I'm not going out with him.
I just, like, I seen a thing. You know how females say if a guy got money and he wear, like, the designer every single day, he's really broke. But
I won't say that necessarily.
I wouldn't say that, but that's what they say. They feel like a guy that has to show it off that he has money, he don't have money. But then I watched another thing. It was the same video. They said instead of buying a pack of Fruit the Loom underwear where you can get like 10 for like cheap, they'll rather him buy one pair of Ethicas
They said, so she'll rather him buy Ethicas than Fruit Loops.
than Fruit the Loom.
I don't like wearing Fruit Loom. They just don't feel comfortable. I don't
No,
like
I'm
the way they
just
look. I
saying,
know,
like, yeah, like,
but like, it don't matter. It's just underwear. But even then, like, people wearing expensive stuff don't mean they broke. It's like some people grew up not having stuff,
right.
and then they just want finer things, and some people just want nicer things.
Like,
You
it's
pay
nothing
more
wrong with
for
it.
stuff. Most of the time, you're gonna get better quality.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay dirt cheap for shit. Your shit gonna be cheap. So like, it is what it is. Like, spending money, just spend it. It ain't that deep.
Yeah.
If you want it, get it.
And that's what I was saying. I was talking to a friend or whatever, and they were like, they're ready to be famous. They're ready to be famous. They're ready to be famous. I feel like what they were trying to say is, like, the fame part is gonna come with the money, but the money's gonna always be there to make
Fame. People think fame and money correlate, but no.
it doesn't.
A lot of famous people be broke. Like, you know who Steve-O is?
Yeah,
Steve-O was broke during all of them Jackass movies. He was not getting money.
I'm saying like, and I told them that I'm like, money. It's too much money in this world to be made first and foremost.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. So the money's gonna always be there, but I don't know how to explain it. Like they just think like just because you get views means it's gonna be the equal same amount of you know what I'm saying, money. Yeah. And it's not gonna be like that. It goes into your work.
Now, being famous, if you're famous, you can get money easier because you being you, people are already gonna look like Kanye. Yeah. If Kanye puts something out, people are gonna go buy it just because he's Kanye.
It's Kanye, yeah.
Same with Travis Scott and all that, but Kanye be dropping some fire shit. I need to go cap. He be dropping some heat.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say like, what am I trying to say? I don't want to say being famous. I don't know how to explain. Like you said, I agree. It can go both ways. Cause like
being famous doesn't make you rich though.
It doesn't make you rich though, but the followers kind of give you a step up.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, I'm just gonna use somebody that we all know, like Beyonce. Mm-hmm. Old Beyonce to me is better than new Beyonce. But either way go, when you see Beyonce drop something, then it's gonna go crazy. Like she doesn't post every day. We don't know
because Beyonce already put that work in.
Exactly.
People already know.
And that's what I'm saying. You have to put in the work. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000,000 followers, 1,000, 10,000. You got to put in the work to get where you want to be.
Yeah,
and people forget about the work.
A lot of people are lazy nowadays. Like, you can't say you want a certain lifestyle, but not doing what you got to do to live that lifestyle. Like, people saying they want to be famous, but you're not changing the way you live. You're not doing nothing.
Like, a dream without work is dead.
It's dead. You could dream, but if you're not doing what you got to do and putting the work that you got to put in, then you ain't got shit.
And not only that, some people, they may do the work, but they don't wait for the time. They think as soon as they start doing the work, it's supposed to come then. Mm-hmm. But you have to be dedicated and set your mind to, this is what I want. Because if it's something that you really want, you will not give up on that dream. Get it?
Yeah.
But if it's something that you really don't want, if it's something you don't want to do, it'll be easy to quit doing the work for it.
All I gotta say is when you dream, just do it. Like, no matter what nobody say, do it. Kanye was literally going to like record labels, playing his music for people. Like, you go and hear me. The author of like Harry Potter, her book got rejected like 3-4 times before someone decides to publish it. And now look at Harry Potter. Niggas love that shit.
Love it. They still read every long book, watch every long movie.
I finally watched Harry Potter. I watched all the movies. And it's good, but you could tell a lot of stuff was left out because it was just like, why this person so cool with this person? They literally talk like twice since the movies.
I actually have a question for you. You know, I'm not a big gamer, but how do you feel about games back then and games now? Like going back to the GameCube to now the PS5s. Like, do you think games has gotten better?
Most definitely.
Or you feel like the older ones were better, but it was the quality that sucked?
I can't say the older ones were better. The older ones were just as good. It was just, like, that didn't matter back in the day because that was good quality back in the day. Older games are still good. Like, if I had my Wii or still have my Xbox games, I would play them. They're fun. It's just that games evolve over time. Games are always going to get better. They're going to be able to do more. Like, games didn't used to be in depth as much because PlayStation and stuff like that couldn't hold as much storage. So they wasn't as big. So they couldn't have good graphics. They weren't as in depth. But the games back in the day, they were most definitely good. I could only be saying that because I was young. You know, little kids, it's easy to entertain a little kid.
But see, the reason why I say that is because, you know, I'm not a big gamer. But back then, like, I had a GameCube. I played my GameCube every single day. And, you know, it's a lot of kids that don't even know what a GameCube is.
I already know it. I grew up. My cousin had a GameCube. We played the Wii, the Xbox,
Right.
PlayStation. We did all of that.
All that. But now it's like, I don't know. I feel like if you really want to be honest, I think the world evolved too quick. I feel like some of the things we have right now, we shouldn't have right now. I feel like we could have waited like later on within life, because now I'm not gonna say like I feel like everything is just a repeat,
Mm.
but I feel like everything is just being a repeat. It's nothing really new,
The world did evolve pretty fast.
like quick.
Like right now, science is so crazy and shit like that. The shit they're trying to do and are doing, it's a lot of problems in today come because we're evolving so fast. I feel
Right.
like all the mental health issues out there and shit like that. I'm not saying they didn't exist back in the day, but when everybody has all this information at their fingertips, it could be corrupting. Like a little kid, people get kids little iPads and shit,
Yeah.
and most of the time they don't even supervise it. So this little kid has access to any information they want to know,
Everything.
and it's like sometimes we aren't meant to know. And another thing, I kind of feel like people, there's been a lot of mass shootings
Yeah,
and
like
shit, and people are like, "This world is crazy" and shit like that. Like, this world's come to an end. But I feel like it's always been like that. But the only reason why we know so much because everything is so televised and the media
Right.
gets everything a lot more. And that's where a lot of depression and stuff like that comes in because
we
you
see
see
it every day.
you see people doing all of this, living these lives that you wish you could live in,
Yeah,
and you're trying to hold yourself to a standard when it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
it is, and that's what I was saying. That
People go broke trying to live up to these trends.
and that's what I was saying. Like we're different people for different reasons.
Mhm.
We may have the same goal, but we're not on the same track to reaching that same goal. I'm not gonna hit the same bump that you hit. You're not gonna hit the same bump that I hit.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of people think they see the ending goal. Like that was me when I went to like college. Like I seen the ending goal of what I wanted to do, but I didn't know the work that went into like getting there.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people just see like
They just see the good.
just
They
the
think, oh, it's
good.
all good, goody two shoes and all that.
Right.
And like even YouTubers and stuff like that, they put in that work. They stay up hours editing and all of that.
Right.
And people just like, people feel entitled too, way too entitled.
Yeah.
Just because someone has something doesn't mean you need to have it, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just life. Shit's not fair. Shit isn't meant to be fair.
It's not. And that kind of goes, well, it doesn't go into it, but what you were saying about the mass shootings, I watched another podcast, and somebody asked the question on the podcast. They were like, what is your outlook on, or what would you have a positive outlook on the mass shooters and how we can move past it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, when they first think about it, it's sad. Like, those are kids, those are parents, there's someone, what I'm saying, family. But somebody on there said, they think that before we came down here to this earth, whatever you believe in, I'm not saying God or like anything in specific, but we were showed an assignment, and an assignment of our life of like what we're gonna go through and stuff, and it was up to us to either accept it or decline it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I feel like they felt like, and I kind of agreed or whatever about it takes kids to wake up a nation.
It takes kids.
It takes like kids are the most precious, vulnerable things, and
It's their future.
right. And we get so sidetracked, like the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Like, yes, it's a real thing, but at one point it kind of seemed like a fad. Like we were all on it, but now you still see it, but it's not as much. I feel like when stuff happens to little kids, it's sad, but I feel like they accepted that assignment. Like we never know when we're gonna die, but maybe that was their assignment to.
So you saying these kids are destined to die?
not saying they're destined to die, but maybe that was like their assignment to go through that, to wake up our nation and, you know, point out how corrupted our world is, how messed
a
up
lot
our
of people
schools
are
is.
starting to realize, and I feel like Cardi B was like, she thinks we're going into another regression. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
I think we need it though. Shit is way too expensive now. Like,
too
I
expensive.
was just reading something. Motherfuckers in New York said you can't get approved. You know how like down here you gotta have 3 times the rent to be able to get it. They said you gotta have 60 times the rent.
Crazy.
New York is already high, so like 2 bands for literally like a studio, you only make 60 times that. That's $120K a year.
Right, like I said, things in this world is getting ridiculous. Nobody think. I mean, we know this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna speak on our culture, but as a unit, as humans, we don't think together.
Mm-hmm.
If you get what I'm saying, like kind of going back to, you know, how we had that conversation about if slaves were, if they wanted to be free, it's only 10, 20 of them, and it's 1,000 of y'all. We don't work together. We're so, I want to do this, I want to do that. But if we actually came together as a unit, we can get a lot of these folks out of the office and better things. I'm not saying it's going to happen quick. I'm not going to say it's going to happen in a year or 5 years. But if we continue to like be together, we can make things better. But people are so,
it'll never happen.
No, it won't. Like I said,
never organized enough.
Nope.
And it's like we don't have enough control.
We don't. And that's the sad part. Like, you know, we're all humans. We're not supposed to, you know, always agree on things or whatever. But a lot of things could be solved by talking and communicating. Like,
that's literally how the world works. They
exactly.
talking to communicate.
I'm saying, like, for instance, like, we know what they do to, what cops do to us folks, right? But we're not the only people that go through it. It's a lot of Mexicans that go through it.
It's not just black people.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't have to be a specific one thing. Like, of course, we come to them, you know, all with our different things, but nobody sat down and thought, how can we make everything better? And it's not going to start until the higher ups get
I don't
hurt.
like, though, like, when a black person gets shot by the cops and stuff like that, people are quick to be like, oh, what did he do? What did he do before this? He probably deserved it. What did he do? But when it's a white person getting in trouble, they never do that. No. Or like I seen a video, and as soon as the cop got out, he told the dude to freeze. Dude didn't have no gun, no nothing. Wasn't putting his hands on nobody. Told dude to freeze. Not even 1 second later, he shot him in his neck, and they still handcuffed him and everything.
Now, see, I do believe it's a corrupted like cop system.
Oh yeah,
but I also feel like a lot of situations can be avoided. As in, like, you know what I'm saying? You can never tell somebody not to pull their gun. You can't tell somebody not to, you know what I'm saying, shoot or whatever. But as far as, like...
your job is... But cops' jobs are to protect.
Yeah, to protect. Like I said, like I said, I don't want to speak on every cop.
Yeah, it's not every cop.
It's not every cop. But it makes us look at cops in a different light because... it don't matter if you are a corrupt one or not. You sign up for a job to protect.
But people like to say it's just one bad apple. But truly, does one bad apple spoil the bunch?
Yeah.
Because it's never just one bad apple. Literally, like, when there's corruption is everywhere. That's going to happen no matter what you do, right. No matter how you fix it. There's always going to be corruption because people have their different opinions, different goals, and different ideologies on things. And... they'll never want that. Like, if you don't want that, then, okay, if I don't want to live the way they're living, I'm going to become a higher up, then I'm going to start doing what I want to do, then I can do what I want to do. It's just corruption. Corruption is going to be everywhere. And I know, I talk about Game of Thrones at least one time on each episode I remember. I know. Fucking Game of Thrones has taught me so much about, like, political shit. Mm-hmm. Even though it's, like, not really about that, but then it lets you know. It's just like the people in power will do what they want to do, and they don't care how it affects people.
Right.
Like, even like with Russia and stuff like that, he started all these wars. Russian soldiers don't even want to be in the wars. They start like, you know what I mean? They don't have a choice. We're just the little people. We get stepped on when, you know, like they say on Game of Thrones, when they play their Game of Thrones, bro.
Yeah.
It hurts the people that aren't in it. That has nothing to do with it.
It do.
Like, you're starting. That's why I don't. One person shouldn't have all the power at all. We shouldn't have. I feel like we shouldn't have presidents and all of that. I feel like we should just have like a board, like, you know, the United Nations and shit like that, and y'all vote that way, and we can elect higher ups. But another thing, I think I was talking about this with Corey on last episode. I was like, politicians, they'll get in office, you know, for them to get elected, they make all these promises. Same with Biden,
Right.
and once they get in office, they're not obligated to do it. They don't have to do this.
They don't have to.
And I feel like politicians shouldn't. I feel like that should be illegal, and it shouldn't be right. Whatever you say you were gonna do while you were campaigning, I know you can't get everything done, but you need to at least be able to prove that you made an effort,
Right,
to try to do what you said, because that's just not right. You can't. People wonder why we're so divided when every time we try to trust in someone, they do it to push their own agenda. No one is truly for the people. It's for themselves.
Nobody. Do you think there was ever a president, not saying Barack Obama just because of who he is, but do you ever think it was ever a real president, like they really pressed like things for like us folks?
I'm not versed in history enough to say, but like JFK did some pretty good stuff. And well, I don't know enough about Abraham Lincoln, but he freed slaves.
Yeah.
So I heard he was still racist, which I believe though.
Yeah.
Not saying that like he could not be racist, but back in those days, they were taught to be racist. They were taught to hate, because hating is really something you're taught. You know what I mean?
It really is.
To hate and treat some people, no matter what you say, like, people don't just sit down and tell you to hate people, but little kids are like sponges, and when they see what their parents do, they're going to redo it and stuff like that. Like, say people that have parents that are alcoholics, they tend not to drink because they're more likely to become it. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
You're just a sponge, and it's just crazy.
It really is crazy. Like, that kind of go into like what we done talked about this for like the past 2 days. Nothing in this world is really right or wrong.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, truly, the system we're in, and what we do, this is just what people put in to control people, which it doesn't matter. Like,
because we were once a sponge, going back to slavery. They came and took us, and gave us these promises that they said we're gonna go through, and they didn't go through. We were just sponges, as like you said, and that's kind of like it done trickle down until now. Like,
it kills me that black people are Christians.
Like, why?
Think about this. One, we came to America by force. This wasn't our natural. Christianity wasn't our natural religion, and they used Christianity to justify slavery. So for people, in the eyes of God, they would say, we aren't human. We're just tools. We're property to be owned. That was how they literally used Christianity to justify slavery. And I'm not saying Christianity is wrong or it's messed up, but things change with time. Like, you ever played that game in school where the teacher will whisper something in one ear and it goes down?
Yeah, telephone.
Yeah, and the last person, it'll be something different. It's just like that. Like, the things that happened in the Bible happened so long ago. There's no real evidence to prove that they're true.
And that's what I say. Like, I was brought up as Christian, but as I got older, I eventually.
By any means, though, like, worship who you want to worship.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, I can only speak for me. I don't really get into the whole Christian thing because I don't really understand every story in the Bible. Like it's a lot of things that really don't, add up.
Contradicts itself.
But I feel like religion itself, whether you're a Muslim, Catholic, anything, it doesn't have to be the book. And that's what I feel like it is. Like people make it more about the book than the picture. Like
Muslims, their religion is like a spectrum. Like you don't have to be a diehard Muslim. You worship as much as you're comfortable with. You know what I mean?
But that's like, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Like that's not every Christian. Like me and my fam, we don't go to church. I haven't been to church since like 2018. But I have a church with my name on it. I send my tithes, you know what I'm saying, here and there when I have, you know what I'm saying, money or whatever. But I don't feel like, and I asked him this too, I don't feel like church matters. It don't matter if you're in a church in your home. It don't matter if you're Muslim or anything.
I was like, going to church and stuff like that, it matters, but then it doesn't, because if God is truly a loving and forgiving God, He knows my heart. And just because I don't go to church every day, that means He's going to punish me?
No, and that's what I was saying. A lot of Christians think that if you don't go to church, if you don't do God's work, if you don't, go tell 5 folks a day about God, that you're not living the way that He wants you to live. But the whole point of any religion is just believing in a higher power, having a relationship with a higher power on your terms. Yeah. My relationship with, my God or who I worship is not going to be the same as them. We may all be Christian, but my relationship, what I talk to God about, is not the same thing that you're going to God about. Or it might be, but we're not all the same. Like, get it?
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean? Like, it's more so of it's your relationship with Him. Mm-hmm. It's not about a Bible. It's not about how He parted the seas and, fed 1,000 men with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Like, I've never seen nobody feed 1,000 people with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. I've never seen a man walk on water. I've never seen a man split the sea. Nobody can say it did or it didn't have happen, because, like you said, it go back so far. But I do feel like it is a higher power, and whatever your relationship is with your higher power, or how you see them, whether it's an animal, whether it's a a spirit, whether it's an actual God, like, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the relationship with the higher power of what you believe in, that's all that matters. I don't think being Christian, Catholic, anything, I mean, I respect it because, that's what you want to go by, but it's a bigger picture, like I said. It's not really about how it is. It's about what you have with them.
Yeah. Let's talk about the music industry. Is this better? Yeah, it's better. Let's talk about the music industry.
Okay.
It's crazy, man. Like, I feel like people put artists too much on a pedestal. They have, like, a lot of influence and stuff like that nowadays, which is nothing wrong. You don't have your influence. Right. But a lot of people take it too far. Like, you seen that one boy that went to jail because he did something to a cop. He was talking about, like, Young Thug and Gunna.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and they got, like, all those charges and stuff.
Yeah, like, you gonna throw your life away for that? Really, man? Like, a lot of people nowadays take stuff way too far.
Too far, like,
people, like, you talk about young boy, people are dead ass ready to fight behind that.
Right, I'm gonna say, and that's another thing, they're missing the whole point. It's about the music.
It's about the music.
It's not about what he do in his personal life. You know what I'm saying?
And I get you want to support them because you fuck with them.
You know what I'm saying? Support or whatever. But to me, I could never fan out like that, because I'm not finna deteriorate my life for a person that I watch and don't know anything about me. I'm just a supporter over.
Dude threw his life away for someone that doesn't even know he exists.
Exactly.
And I guess, like, do what you want to do. Everybody has the right to be free and do what you want to do. But there's more to life. There's so much more to life. And even just like, I don't like how the society we have today is so ran by money, social media and stuff like that. The next get rich scheme. People don't just sit back and enjoy life.
That's what I was saying. Like, you know how I told you, I think like a week or two ago, it's nothing wrong with being the face of a brand, but you're just the face of a brand. Like for this is yours, right? And say that, you know what I'm saying, one day you do hit them 2 mil subs and stuff, and you're the face, right? You're gonna have a team behind you. It's nothing wrong with being, you know what I'm saying, the vessel to somebody of being the face. And I feel like that's another reason why a lot of things is corrupted, because everybody want to be equal, but sometimes you're not supposed to be.
That's what I say. Like, the world isn't. Life isn't fair. The world isn't fair. Everybody isn't meant to be equal. That's like that's a human concept.
Right.
Equality. And like, I get you want everybody to have what everybody has, but if y'all want to keep living this way and living in this society, everybody can't be equal. If everybody is billionaires and doesn't need to work a day in their lives, we don't have nothing there. Nothing. That's why, like, money, first of all, money isn't real. The concept of money isn't real. It's people, we have been brainwashed. Even school brainwashes you for so much. That's why they force kids to go to school. Right. Your parent will go to jail. You don't go to school. And I get they want us to be educated, but they do brainwash you in school. They teach you to think a certain way. And since everything is so connected and people have so much now, they're learning more, they're getting more knowledge, and they can't control the masses no more.
Nope.
You can't control the masses. Like, you know, people be like, back in my day, we did this, that. But people know so much and have evolved. We as a whole have evolved so much to think independently. And it's just like, it's not right. It's not right to push ideas on the kids and stuff like that. It's just let everybody be free and do what they want. Then again, I know you can't do that because then there'll be chaos. Right. But it'll never be perfect. The world isn't perfect. We aren't perfect.
And no generation is perfect. They try to say we're the worst generation. I don't think we're the worst
generation. They're always going to say that.
Exactly. We're just the generation below you. It's just like how
they always say the next generation gets worse. It's because you starting to see the bullshit your parents put up with. Now you don't want to put up with that bullshit. We are a
reflection of our parents. What we go through, either we're gonna do what they did or we're gonna try to do what they didn't do. But we're still a reflection of what they've done in their life.
Exactly. Like, shit happened. Like, everybody, I don't say everybody lives the same life, but you know, when you live life, you start to ask questions. The older you get and stuff like that, you get curious. And as a parent, the best you can do is just try to guide your kid. But some parents try to control them and stuff like that. And you got to remember, to me, parents aren't, you know, whatever your parents say isn't what's right and stuff like that, or what you have to do. I feel like parents should be meant to guide you along this world and equip you with the tools you need to be successful and to thrive.
Yeah.
But some parents don't understand that everybody's different. People make mistakes, and you can't be mad at it. You know what I mean? Your mom tell you not to do something, you still do it. I mean, she can't get mad at it because you're curious about it.
I was just going to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody is going to wonder, you know what I mean? Like, I had this guy that I knew. He didn't grow up in America. He grew up in Africa. But once he came to America, like, for breakfast, all they ate was the same thing. For dinner, lunch, they ate the same thing. For 20 years of his life, he comes to college and he's curious now. Like, he's starting to eat everything. He wants to go everywhere. He wants to do everything every time, because as a child, when you keep getting told no, you want to know why no. Like, if I say, walk to the store, but go down the alley going towards the right. Don't get on the left. You're bringing up, well, what's on the left?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're curious. You want to know why.
Right. So if you were raised to just eat and do the same thing traditional, you know what I mean? You're going to want to know.
I feel like the only way to truly raise a child is just to love your kid.
Okay, so by us talking about this, about kids being curious, I know this happened a long time ago, but how do you feel about Northwest and that whole TikTok thing?
I agree with both, because Kanye's intentions behind it are purely exactly that's what happens with parents. Parents at their core just want to protect their kids. Even like parents not wanting their kids to get tattoos because it's harder to get jobs sometimes. And that is true. But if the kid wants to get a tattoo, that's their life. Like, you know what I mean? And Kanye didn't want her having TikTok just because. You ever heard the song Violent Crimes? The song is pretty much dedicated to North. It's dedicated to his daughters, and it's just like how he's gonna try his best to protect her, but shit's gonna happen because of life. And like, you know, there's purrs on the net and stuff like that. Like, if you go on her TikTok, all her comments are turned off for a reason, because people are weird and stuff like that. Like, even Mason, that's North's cousin. Mm-hmm. He had a TikTok, and they'll be like, "Oh, go take a picture of your mom's card and this and that." And just like, kids are so young and impressionable, it can change. Like, you know what I mean? When you see shit as a kid, that can fuck with you for life. So he was just trying to protect his daughter. And Kim, on the hand, for letting her have it, her parents are going through a divorce. That's a hard time for people and stuff like that. And it's important to have different ways of expression. And Kim let her choose what she wanted to do to express herself. And she chose TikToks. And it's not like she's just out there by herself, you know, just on it, looking at whatever. I'm pretty sure Kim monitors it to the best of their ability. And I remember when we were talking about that last time, you were like, but there's only so much you can do and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially like in a position of Kim, like.
But now I'm more than almost positive she has the tools to make sure she, like, one, they have the parental guides and stuff like that, what they can and can't do on it. But you try, like, it was in one video, the Saint, I think his name is Saint. He was playing Roblox, and there was a thing called, like, it was Kim's sex tape, unreleased sex tape and shit like that. And he couldn't read, but it was her face on it. It wasn't nothing nasty, but it's just crazy that if he's seen that, you know, that'll affect you.
That's for a long time.
Yes, that'll affect you for a minute. And
you know, I also thought on the level that they both are on, like, far as like fame wise, she may have did it, you know what I'm saying, to let her, you know, try to start her, you know, try to figure out what she wants to do early too. Yeah. Because think about it, like, you know, Kim is good, you know what I'm saying? He's good, you know what I mean? And I feel like the way he was raised, he's trying to give her the guise of not everything is going to be given. And I feel like just by her being their kid, of course the views and stuff is gonna come. But I also understand Kim's side, because that's letting a child figure out what they want to do. Like, I wish I had that type of thing where I can say what I wanted to do. Because do you know how long I fought to not play football?
I just didn't do it. I didn't want to do something, I didn't do it.
No, like, my parents, like, would not let me stop. I played football from 6 years old to my
That's
sophomore
one
year.
thing about parents, forcing things onto their kids, self-projecting, and not all the time. Some parents don't do it on purpose.
Right.
They just want you to do that. But it's just like, after so long, you can't control your kid anymore. And the more you try to control your kid, the further you're going to push them away from you.
And I told him that, I was like, that was once a dream of mine, but it became your dream. That's not my dream, no.
And eventually you'll start to resent them for that, because they're taking away your childhood for shit for something you don't even want to do.
Right, like, you know what I mean? Anybody that can look at me can see my size, right? Like, you know, I'm 6'7", you know what I'm saying? I'm a big dude.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the first thing you can think of is, oh, he plays sports. And I feel like everybody's seen that for me. And I seen it for myself at one point, but I know what my heart wanted. I didn't go off of what people think I should do. I wanted to go off what I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard for a lot of, it's still hard now, like for a lot of people to see that it's more to life than just this one thing. Like they like, oh, this is your ride. Oh, this is where you're going to get your money at. Oh, once you make it, you don't have to worry. But think how miserable I would have been.
I got a
going
story
to practice. What's up?
It's a story I told last night, but I got to tell it for the podcast. So, growing up, you know, me and my siblings, we did some crazy shit. And me and my sister, we were like 4 or 5, and our cousins are there too. We had a bunk bed. We put a whole bunch of covers at the bottom, and we're jumping off of it. You know, we're having fun. Yeah. It's pretty safe. We did dumb shit, but we did dumb shit safely, so it was okay. And then we were like, oh, let's jump with the lights off. So we turned the lights off. We're jumping, pitch black, jumping off the top of a bunk bed onto the floor in pitch black darkness. And my sister China, she said my cousin Paige pushed her. And, you know, she's falling. And there's a little mini motorcycle you can ride on the street, stuff like that. It's not like a Power Wheel. It's like a legit little mini motorcycle. Right. She landed on it. And, oh, my God, that shit was funny. She went to my mom's room and shit. And, you know, she was laying down. She threw up. They took her to the hospital. She had a concussion. That shit's crazy, man. I got crazy stories for days.
I got a lot of crazy stories.
I fell off my bike. My brother teach me how to ride a bike. I fell off and hit my 2 front teeth on a curve.
I learned how to ride a bike. This is funny. I think I was like 6. Mm-hmm. And I asked for a bike or whatever. I had a bike for like 2 years that I never rode.
You never rode it?
I never
rode riding a bike.
So one day I told my papa, I said, I want to learn how to ride a bike. He was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm thinking he was going to show me. He puts me on the driveway, like the top of the driveway. I'm sitting on
just let you
bike.
go?
He just let me go. I was
it's
like,
that simple, but you can't do that.
And he just let me go. And he said, either you're going to pedal or you going to fall. And I fell.
It really is simple as fuck to ride a bike.
It
just
really
get on
is.
it and start pedaling. You're not going to fall. But, I don't know. That's weird. What was I about to say? I told you it before, but I was going to tell it again for the podcast. Oh, for the longest, I didn't find this out until about like 2 years ago. 2-3 years ago, it wasn't normal as a little kid. Like, I was 6 years old, literally just walking out the house, going around my bike around there, but didn't say shit to nobody. And I was talking, who was I talking to when I found that out?
Me, you, and Jay.
No, this was way before that. I'm talking about like the first time I found out like that's not normal. I think I was at school and I was telling that. And they were like, shit, it must be nice. And I remember I would go to my cousin's house and we would have to ask his mom. And I was like, we got to ask to go outside? Like, what? That's buggies. And I wish life was still like that now where you can do that. Because back then, we could do that. I go ride my bike around the neighborhood. I'm gone. I'm going everywhere. And I'm going to be back when I be back. I didn't, like, you know how people be like, oh, yeah, I had to come in with the light. When the lights came, I came in when I felt like it.
I had to come in when the lights came on. I had to ask to go outside. She'll be like, yeah, go clean this. Okay, clean it. Right now, go do this. I'm like, okay.
I didn't do that. We just left.
And then she'll turn and be like, no. I'd be like.
I remember one time, me and my brother, it was our neighbor's house. They were like 3 houses down across the street. So we weren't far. Mm-hmm. And we were over their house and we were playing their game and shit like that. And it was late. We didn't come back home till like 12. We were like, no, it probably wasn't that late. It was probably like 11. And mom basically was like, they didn't open the door. So they were just like, I got to spend the night over there. We're not coming to open the door. They did not open the door for us when we spent the night over their house. I was like, damn. I mean, it wasn't like they were just strangers, though. Right. We knew them. Like, their mom knew our mom and stuff like that. It wasn't just no strangers. She just didn't leave us with anybody. Mom would do some shit like that. I would cry when I was little. I was a little crybaby.
I got a question. When was, like, so you could go outside at, like, any time then. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have a bedtime? Mm-mm. Like, never?
When I was little, I'm pretty sure I had insomnia. I would literally go wake my mom up. Is it time? I was always hungry, and I would. It would be hard for me to go to sleep. Like I would try to go to sleep. I'll sit there, my eyes closed, and I just wouldn't fall asleep, even if I wanted to. That's why, like now, I've always been a night owl. Staying up late.
Yeah.
I've always stayed up late and been a night owl. Even on school days, I would go to sleep like at 11. And for a school day, it's late. I would always. That's just the way I work. Just being up late. I enjoyed the night.
Yeah, you see me like, I finally started to go to sleep when I wanted to in 6th grade.
I always want to see when I went to.
Like before that, she'll be like, your bedtime is 9.
So like when you had a bedtime, what is that? So you gotta, do you have to just get in the bed, turn on the TV, or like you just gotta be in the bed, you can watch TV?
So when I was younger, bedtime was like, well, before I had like a phone and stuff or whatever, it'll be, you can watch the TV until then, and then after this, you gotta, go take a shower and get out your clothes and stuff. Now going to sleep, they'll turn on the TV, but our TV had like a set timer thing. And then it turned into, when I had my phone, you can stay up but be off your phone by 10. Or like bring your phone inside of my room.
Oh, they would do that to y'all?
Yeah. And then it turned into, okay, well, you can have your phone, but don't be up all night or whatever. And then once they got the thing of like, we just had to be inside of our room, we stay up like all the time, like 3-4 o'clock.
I would get on punishment. I never got I really didn't get my phone taken until my mama met Ray Ray. And she started taking our phones, but then they stopped because I stopped going for that shit. Like, you gotta stop. I was like, man, why are you taking our phone? Like, Ray would take our phone. We would have to make our bed every day or we get in trouble. I was like, man, it's not that deep. I'm going to sleep in here.
Again, that's what I said.
I lay in my bed, but I want to start making my bed up every day. Yeah. I just don't because it's in a corner and it's a hassle.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, as a kid when you're in school, you have a routine. Like,
I used to.
I'm going to wake up. I got to brush my teeth. I got to put on my clothes. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to come back, do my work, chill, eat. And I'm going to get back inside of
when I used to live in Houston, I would make my bed every day. No one told me to make my bed every day. I would just make my bed before I left school. I was like 7, 6.
Yeah, no, I've never told no one this like at all. But I didn't start sleeping in a room by myself until I was like 13.
You shared room or just?
No, I just never slept. Like when I was living with my grandparents when I was young, my papa used to sleep in my room, and I used to sleep in the bed with my granny. And then when I got older, I made a pallet in their room, and we're sitting in a 2-story house. It's 3 rooms upstairs and it's 2 downstairs. And I chose for us to all be inside of one room. And then it took for me to get like older to be like, I kind of want my own space.
When I was little, I seen a movie called Panic Room. You ever seen that movie?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like, it's his mom and her daughter. They live in this house, and then these niggas break in, but they make it to the panic room, and they broke in the house, but the only thing they wanted in the house was in the panic room, but they didn't want to let them in the panic room because if you come in here, we don't know what you're going to do. And that shit traumatized me as a little kid. I had my own room, and I would sleep with my brother every day because I was too scared to sleep in my room. And then eventually, I started sleeping in my room again. This was when I was first moved back to Houston. Yeah. I mean, back to Dallas. So it was long. Damn, that was a long time ago. It feels like I just moved back to Dallas not that long ago. But I moved back to Dallas. What year was it? Probably like 2009, 2010.
2010?
It's one of the two. Because my uncle died in 2009. But I was in first grade when we moved back. It was like towards the end of first grade year. So I'll say 2010 is when I moved back to Dallas.
Do you ever want to move back?
Oh, yeah. I want to move to Houston all the time.
Like, move there, like, for good, or just move there and, move some. I could move there. Do you see yourself living there?
You already know that answer. What is my dream?
I mean, I know of, like now, You talking about like getting your high rise? Or
I want to
talking about your own land and stuff?
Yeah, give me a house in Colorado. I want to go to Colorado. I go to Colorado or LA or even Houston. I want to live in all three at least for a little bit in my life.
Yeah,
just to experience it.
I was talking to my sister or whatever, and I was actually gonna move like right after I had graduated, before I had decided to go off to school.
And Houston's not far.
It's really
like
not.
If you still want to kick it with your friends, you could come to Dallas like once a week. When we first moved back to Houston, when I was little, my mama, she still had her job in Dallas, and literally during the week she would go to work, and on the weekends, that Friday when she got off, she would drive to Houston, stay with us for 2 days. She'll leave like Sunday night, go to work and do it again. It's not bad. It's not that, and it's the way gas was too. You weren't even spending a lot of gas back then. Gas probably like $1.50. But even in like Houston, that's not a lot of gas. You go to Houston, that's probably filling up maybe once or twice.
I'll say once, because the drive from here to Baton Rouge, we've had to fill up twice. I'll say like once.
As far as you drive, you probably drive the way to Houston every day, like the length to Houston.
I think I drive more than that.
Yeah, like Houston's not that far. Like you can literally wake up in the morning, drive to Houston, have a good day in Houston, and come back by like 11.
And have like a nice time down. Like
you'll get
hours and hours.
If you leave like at 6, you'll get to Houston like at 10 in the morning. That's the whole day to do shit. And leave like at 7, 10 to 7. That's a long time. You can do plenty of stuff. Like if you know what you're gonna do, that's enough time to go do shit. Cause you're gonna go to a museum. You can be at the museum 3 hours. Go to the mall 3 hours. And you're gonna get you something to eat 2 hours. Boom, it's 7. That's a pretty full day.
Yeah. Or just shoot. Even if you want to make that 45-minute drive down there to like the beach and stuff. Like like Houston is surrounded by a lot of.
Talking about Galveston Beach.
Yeah. Trash.
I've never been to Galveston Beach. I lived in Houston. I never went to Galveston Beach. I've never been to.
I go there every single year.
I've never been to. I've never touched the ocean. I've seen the ocean. I've been to California.
Yeah.
But we didn't go to the beach. I've seen the ocean. I flew over the ocean too. But I've never touched ocean water.
That's great. Dude,
I've touched lake water. I've been to lakes.
Do you have that picture when I was on my cruise?
Which one?
When I was inside of in the ocean part?
No, I don't think I have that one.
No. Well, Cozumel, one day, like, you know, when like our money is aligned and stuff, we gotta go. Cozumel is like one of the nicest places.
I want to go to the Bahamas. Bahamas, you can go to Bahamas, not spend a lot. It's pretty cheap to actually go on a vacation to the Bahamas. The most expensive thing you're probably going to pay for is your plane ticket. And
that's nothing. I don't like flying. I love flying. I don't love flying.
I don't mind flying. I actually kind of like it.
Like I'm not scared to fly. I like the feeling of being at the airport, knowing I'm finna go somewhere.
Takeoff just makes me nervous. If I'm being honest,
it's the landing that makes me nervous.
It doesn't bother me. It's just like, dang, we're taking off. But once you're in the air, you chilling. Like some people can't go to sleep on planes.
I can't. I'm looking up.
I only been on a plane 4 times. That's including there and back.
For me, flying back and forth from school and stuff, I've been on a plane probably like 7 times, 7, 8 times.
You ever flew? Oh yeah, you did fly on a plane by yourself.
Yeah.
When I flew on a plane, I was 17. I had just turned 17, I think. And I went to California for my birthday. You remember that?
Yeah.
Was that when I turned 17?
Yeah, we was at Rezus.
It was at Rezus. And I flew by myself. Going there, like my mama walked with me the whole time and literally till I went on the plane. But when I was coming back, and at first my uncle was like, he was just going, you got it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ask him, can you stay? But he stayed. Because I really didn't want to, I wasn't scared, but I was nervous. I didn't want to go by myself.
My first time on the plane.
He low-key didn't even want me to leave. He was crying before, if anything.
My first time on a plane by myself was when I was 19. Mm-hmm. I was down there at Southern in school or whatever, and it was a hurricane, and they were like, it's supposed to be bad. So I told my granny, I'm like, Granny, can you book me a flight home? At first she had said no because I can swim. But then,
Damn.
but then she had finally booked a plane, and I kid you not, like I didn't even have time to think about I'm finna be in the airport and on a plane by myself.
You gotta leave early if you go on a flight too.
She bought my ticket at 2:00. I was on the plane by 2:54, and I was here at like.
So your plane took off around 2:54. She bought it at 2.
No, she bought me one that left at 4, but the storm was coming in bad. So my plane, I didn't get to hop on that plane. So they put us all on another plane, and it was still short. It was only like 10 folks on this whole plane, and as soon as I went through like checkout, I actually got escorted to the plane because the doors closed, and I was the last person sitting on the plane. So I didn't even get to think about, you know what I'm saying, dang, I am getting on my first plane, you know what I'm saying, Bob. It was more so of I'm trying to beat the storm, but I was in and out of an airport in less than 30
When I go
minutes.
to the airport, we get there like 2 hours before the flight. That's when you're supposed to get there. You're supposed to get there like 2 hours before. Even when we get there 2 hours before, because like it sometimes it does take a long time to get all through the checkout and shit. Because I was there and I was like, Mama, I think we're gonna be late. We get here 2 hours, but the line was long, but it was moving pretty fast.
But see, another thing about me,
I'd be ready to get off the plane when it land.
me too.
Motherfuckers be taking their time.
Sitting there, be like, keep on your seatbelt, stay seated, and then they'll turn. People will walk slow.
Okay, I'm like, grab your shit and go. That's the only thing that sucks about sitting in the back.
Yeah, but you know, if you sit by a exit, you have to agree to this thing where you're the last person off of the plane.
Oh, for real?
You have to help everybody else off of the plane, and then you're the last one.
Exit seats are cheaper, I think.
Now they're more
expensive?
Yeah, because you get more room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of the two. I was looking at plane tickets. That's bogus. On plane tickets, why do I have to pay for the ticket and pay for a seat?
I don't know. Like I said,
I feel like certain seats you should pay for, like exit tickets. You get more room, so like it makes sense you pay for them. But that's bogus. I gotta pay for a ticket. I gotta pay to have my bag with me. I gotta pay to have a seat. Like what? This shit's bogus.
did I tell you about the time that I almost thought that I was finna have to be kicked off the plane? So I think it was on my flight back here to for Thanksgiving, and my mom had booked me a flight like a month in advance. She like, yeah, your seat is 14, you know what I'm saying, B, and you have the exit seat and you have the outside thing, so you're gonna have room. I'm like, okay, cool. I come back or whatever, and my plane is full. Like, it's no seat that's like open.
You know, sometimes a lot of planes, they'll overbook it, and then because some people won't come, you know.
Yeah.
But then when everybody comes, they kick people off. That's not right. If you don't have enough seats, don't sell a ticket.
Well, see, in my aspect, I could go, I can get on it, but it was the fact of the seat that she picked. So the seat that she told me she got me was a exit seat. It was a normal seat, and then on top of that, it was another big dude there. So now I'm looking, I'm like, I got a carry-on bag. I have my knees can't fit. I'm literally the only person standing up inside of the plane, and folks is like just looking at me. I'm like, well, my mom said that I got this seat, so why don't I get this seat? And then she had checked my thing. She was like, sir, this says 14D. 14D is at the back. And I looked at the back, and it's that in the seat. I'm like, so I went to go try to sit back there, and I couldn't fit. So I thought that they was going to kick me off the plane. And it was so embarrassing. They went inside the cockpit and had got on the phone. It was like, anybody sitting at a inside of one of the like bigger seats, can y'all please switch with this gentleman in the back? Yeah, I said about this lady, and she was talking to me about her son. Her son was like the same height as me and stuff, and
she a real one.
Yeah, well her husband is, because he said behind us, but he kind of stared at us like the whole time.
He was mad.
Yeah,
She probably the one that told him like switch out.
Right.
I would have switched if I could. It's not that big of a deal for
But
me.
it was embarrassing. Like the whole plane, it was.
I'm already knowing having eyes on you is embarrassing.
Then on top of that, I'm a big dude, so I'm sitting there in the plane with my head down.
Where you fly? Huh? What airline did you fly?
American Airlines.
I've only flown Spirit.
I've flown Spirit, American
Spirit
Airlines.
Wasn't even that bad.
Yes, it was.
For me, it wasn't that bad.
We had flew Spirit, going to Las Vegas. That was the most terrible ride of my life.
I've only flown on Spirit before, so I can't tell you what the other ones are like.
Have you ever seen the last Hotel Transylvania?
The one that just came out?
No, not that one, but the one before, when they had took the little cruise thing. And
I've seen parts of it. I don't think I've just.
It reminds me of that plane, or like the plane off of
Madagascar.
Yeah,
they slungshot that big,
bro. That's what I think about. Like
we had on the way back when I was flying by myself. I was asleep and we had turbulence and it woke me up and I thought we was going down. I was like, damn, this how I die. Crazy. I'd be so calm in fucking life or death situations. It was one time we was driving with my sister, right? And you know when you pull out so you can turn.
Yeah.
She pulled out, but she was a little far, and like the 18-wheeler, if she didn't go, he was gonna hit us. And I'm just sitting here looking at it, and she goes, and she was like, "Dylan, why the fuck you ain't say nothing?" I was like, "My bad, I thought you seen it." Shit, I just when I see shit, I just be looking because I'm like, I wonder what's gonna happen. I don't know. That's
right.
Fucked up.
It really is like. I didn't start being like that until I got older, like college, like that one weekend. I almost died 3 times back to back. I almost died.
But most of the time when I drive my friends, I pay attention while we driving because they're not as experienced drivers. They know how to drive, but it's just like I don't know. I always try to pay attention. I make sure I be looking too.
Yeah.
But sometimes I shut up though because I don't want to be like don't tell me when to go. I'm gonna go when I go. I don't like that shit, so I don't do it. I'll be paying attention, or like if it's a close car or something. Like Jay exits at the last second.
Oh, like he waiting there, run over the little white part.
Yeah, or like when you're on the highway and you turn on the big bridge.
Yeah,
he'll wait to get in the lane to turn. And he's like, I'll be like, Jay, is this your exit? He'll be like, oh, I know. I'm like, okay.
But that's you. Like when you break, you're you and Michaela.
I've been working on it. I don't break it. I don't break as hard no more. I've been working on it.
I used to be so scared.
Don't be scared. We're gonna be straight.
First of
all, I can drive.
You be going a little bit quicker than the speed limit.
Especially on the highway. I cruise around 80 on the highway.
But
80, 90.
You get like, I'll say like 15 feet away. I'll say like 10, 15 feet away, and then you press the brake, and then
I don't be that close. That's too close. You can't break that.
It's just the way that it looks.
You're supposed to brake like 100 feet away.
I'm just saying like the way
I brake probably like 50.
Whatever it is, you brake quick.
I do brake quick though. I know that. I mean, I know my car.
Yeah.
That's
just like last night.
Man,
we went on a whole trip.
We driving last night
on E.
And my gas light come on, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just get gas tomorrow." Tristan was like, "No, you need gas." I'm like, "Tristan, I know my car, and I know exactly how far I can drive while the gas light on." I was driving, and it was one of those commercials, and he was like, "Oh, are you the type of person to wait to look for gas stations when the orange light comes on?" I was like, "Fuck you, Jim Adler." It was some insurance commercial.
Like, we went everywhere on E.
We went one place, Tristan.
I thought we went 2-3 places.
No, we went one place. Literally that whole time we were driving, you kept asking me, "Where are we going?" I was like, "Tristan, we're going to my grandma's house." As soon as we get on the highway, "Where are we going?" "We're going to my grandma's house." I was like, "Brad, quit asking me the same shit." Nah, man.
And then when we came back, I was like,
"Where we go?
Where do we go?"
Neither of y'all knew where we went. That was a good night,
bro. Because it was a movie. Like it just happened. Like first of all, it was random. It was late. And yeah.
That shit was crazy.
But like, yeah, it was.
But shit, I'm about to call the episode. All right, man. That's episode 5 of Midnight Smoke. Y'all enjoy, like, subscribe down below. Tell your friends about it, and peace.